Hello everyone and welcome back to CBR MTG. I'm Nicholas Fennell. With me today is Lachlan Saunders.
Hey.
Brandon Owen.
Hello.
And Slyvius. Special guest.
Hey.
Who's also on footage today, playing 4-color Loam against Frank on BR Reanimator.
Yeah, one of these decks is very fair, one of them is very unfair. Can you guess which?
It's Loam, obviously, because you get to dredge.
Yeah, Dredge is a pretty historically broken mechanic, so I'm going to lock in 4-color as the combo deck in this matchup.
But would you even say 4-color Loam is a fair deck?
I mean, it's pretty fair, right? Like,
any deck that's trying to win with like Punishing Fire is pretty fair, right?
It's true.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it kind of like straddles the line though, because you are powering out things with fast mana in the form of Mox Diamond.
Yeah,
that's pretty
Yeah,
fair.
any card with Mox in its name tends to be on the unfair side of the spectrum.
And
It's like Frank here is achieving the deck's game plan of putting a Grizzlebrand into play on turn 1.
Yeah, with a turn 1 Faithless Looting.
Sylvius powerless in
Ooh.
the face of...
and the immediate
just
scoop.
snap
He
concede,
scoops it up, yeah. The ability to draw like 14 cards there and probably a Thoughtseize. He still had 1 mana floating from the Dark Ritual.
Is there any way
It's
you
just
have main deck
ridiculously
to
powerful.
kill
no. So
Grizzlebrand? Yeah.
with the configuration of the main deck, I have no way to deal with a Gristlebrand other than the Veil.
Do you have a Caracas?
I do, but I didn't have access. The hand I kept had no way to power out a Liliana quickly or have access to a Caracas through a night.
Sure.
So I figured I would just keep it and concede and conceal what I was playing because it's just a almost impossible matchup. Game 1.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I had prior knowledge that Frank was playing Reanimator, so that's what I was doing. So my board plan here is 2 Swords to Plowshares, 3 Leonerd of the Void, and Containment Priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Containment Priest, I guess you're not on the play now, so it can be a turn 1 play through Mox Diamond.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It's
And
very, very tough.
I'm trying to lean on Chalice of the Void in this matchup because it turns off a lot of Frank's faster starts. And that's kind of a number with Swords to Plowshares, but a lot of the time he has the Animate Dead, the Exhume, and you just need an answer to some of those big creatures that come down. And Swords is just such an efficient answer.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
seems like
definitely.
his only way to get a fatty into the bin is natural discard outside of maybe like Collective Brutality, which he probably doesn't keep in, considering it hits like there are very few cards in your deck.
Especially if he doesn't know what it is.
I mean, through Chalice, that is, obviously.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about the kind of number between like one of your primary objectives being Chalice on 1 and boarding in Swords of Plowshares?
Yeah. I mean, like it's always kind of a contentious thing with like when you have these powerful 1-mana answers and when you have a deck constructed not to use the 1-drop slot in a format is defined by its 1-drops as legacy. But
Yeah.
you do have answers in the form of like Liliana the Veil, and with this matchup, if given enough time, you can kind of play a fair game around what they're doing. And cards like Liliana the Void really slow them down enough. This is what I'm taking out.
Sure.
So Punishing Fire does nothing in this matchup. It's just too slow. Gaddock Teague is also an anti-combo card that's just not applicable here. And it actually turns off my Green Sun Zenith, which can make me have a kind of horrendous late game. Or turn off a lot of my answers to a fast night.
I like keeping in
Hardcasting a
the
leyline as well.
Yeah.
I like keeping in the Abrupt Decays as well in case he goes for like an Animate Dead.
Yeah.
It's otherwise like pretty narrow, but I think the cards you pulled out are worse.
Yeah. This seems like a very tough matchup for the deck, though, because it's playing on such a fair axis, and it just denies itself access to answers like Swords to Plowshares in the main deck.
Yeah, on Frank's side, it looks like he's bringing in some wear and tears, or actually leaving them out. I'm not sure if he. So, do you know if he knew what you were playing? I guess you showed him your sideboard. So.
I'm not,
Was he looking when you laid down?
I'm
No,
not entirely-
I think Frank looked away and he was
Yeah.
just showing the camera. Right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I told Frank to look away so he could kind of like... this card is like...
You weren't just putting him on tilt by laying down your ley lines in front of him?
No.
Saying, look what I'm bringing in.
I think he may have known what I was on, but I think that as Angus and Frank has explained to me, sideboarding this deck, you have to guess a lot with what's your opponent's answer going to be. I guess you can kind of assume wear tear because with a deck that is a Chalice of the Void deck, if he knows it's 4-color Loam, you probably don't want answers to stuff like Surgical Extraction or Grafdigger's Cage. You probably expect something like Leonerd of the Void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be reading too much into it, but I think that the wear tears are kind of a preemptive thing. Like, he may not know that I have them, but I think they come in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, and you can basically always expect that your opponent's we can see triple wear tear, Elishanorn and Ashen Rider coming in here. Elishanorn a concession to the fact that you're pretty well known as like a creature player, Sylvius. Like you played Nick Fit in the past, like maybe you might just assume you're still on Nick Fit.
Yeah, Ashen Rider just like a nice flexible answer to permanent based hate.
Yeah.
And the wear tear is like you're 90% of the time you're going to expect your opponent's graveyard hate to be artifact or enchantment based. The two notable exceptions being Surgical and Fairy Macabre, which is tough because both of those can be played in any deck. But the wear tears, like they're gonna hit more of the graveyard hate cards than leaving them out is the real kind of.
Kind of a shame we didn't get to see what Frank brought out here because that's often interesting seeing.
I think he brought out some amount of Chancellors, maybe a Faithless Looting, maybe a Lotus Petal or something like that. I think that was what was on
Just
screen.
kind of random assortment of cards.
Yeah, Frank's very new to the deck, so he's kind of like learning the archetype.
Do you not keep the Chancellors in against a turn 1 Chalice deck?
He may not know.
Yeah, fair.
Looks like
a chalice in
a
his hand right now.
Chancellor in his hand.
Yeah.
Chancellor.
Oh, nope, doesn't like it.
No.
Chancellors are a lot more powerful for this deck, versing non-blue decks on the draw. So that's definitely a consideration. Like just being able to stop your opponent doing anything when you're on the draw is just so good.
Yeah, putting him back turn.
Like you won't be able to stop like a Tormod's Crypt or something, or maybe even a Surgical, but like being able to stop them, maybe finding a disruption piece or progressing their own game plan through like a mana acceleration in the form of Deathrite Shaman or something.
Yeah.
I seem to remember like Snap keeping the 7 based on the
Leyline of the Void sitting
it had functional mana and a ley line, and I figured that's probably as good as I'm going to get.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Any hand with a ley line, right?
Yeah. I don't unless the hand's like 3 ley lines, I'm probably not mulliganing it.
Even then, 3 ley lines is like pretty good. Like this disrupts his game plan so much. He needs 3 answers. Like
I mean, there were versions playing like what Reverend Silence though, right?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that in the sideboards.
That would be a hosing, yeah.
I guess game 3 is where that really comes into play and gets interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so here he'll be. I mean, if you do have a ley line, he'll be like, I guess, needing to find the.
You can see the itchy trigger finger on Sylvius with that ley line wanting to come down after the side of the scry.
It's more like I'm trying to figure out exactly when pre-game actions happen.
Yeah,
I think it's here. But
After mulligans.
Yeah, after the scry.
And turn 0 ley line, pretty demoralizing for the Reanimator player.
Yeah, well, I mean, he expected some kind of interaction, I imagine.
Even the
free
fast
interaction's
mana.
probably the worst.
Okay, so no like 2 mana play,
no.
which is I mean it's probably fine, but what's the reason you play the Mox Diamond instead of just like holding it in hand? If you don't have the 2 mana play on turn 1.
To be completely honest, I'm not exactly sure. I think I was just in the mindset of like I'm constructing a mana base right now and I don't need this forest. And
Sure.
I just wanted it to get out of my hand because at some point I don't know, maybe something will change.
You're also representing something, right?
I'm representing an Abrupt Decay with this. I mean, I know I didn't have it, but it does represent that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Next up with yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say a deck like this not ever going to be representing counterspells or anything like that.
Decidedly not blue.
Yeah, I mean the instant speed interaction is pretty minimal. Like, you know, as you said, like Abrupt Decay, maybe Swords of Plowshares, and then I don't know what, like Night activations or something. But
yeah.
Ooh, 2 reanimates down for Frank. That's pretty good for you. So it's like those cheap interactions, cheap combo pieces are very very potent.
So
and turn 2 Night.
Yeah,
it's
pretty good.
It's pretty good.
In this position, I'm feeling really good because I have access to Caracas after I untap, which is a huge.
Huge hosing for those legendary creatures.
Frank's just burning through cards here, looking for a creature to discard.
Well, he's looking for a wear tear, right, to get rid of that ley line.
Right, of course.
Oh yeah, he has a wear tear in hand. He also needs a white mana as well, which is tough because the deck has like Scrubland and Lotus Petal, right?
It looks like he has a Chrome Box in his hand.
Well, he would have to discard his like wear tear, right, to get access to the white mana.
I think
he might have a Chancellor.
Sure,
I think he has to really pick his moment here though, and kind of.
It sucks because like from your perspective, Sylvius, you can just get a wasteland. You just get a wasteland and waste him.
Yeah.
I don't know how more effective that is than say assembling Dark Depths combo, but
So this build has no access to the Dark Depths combo.
Oh, well,
it's
there you
just a much fairer list, just with the punishing fire.
well, yeah, definitely, I could see you just wasting your opponent here.
I decided to put pressure on because I'm just thinking that like I need to kill Frank before he finds some answer to my Leyline of the Void. And putting pressure on him makes his Gristlebrand reanimation potentials just weaker.
Sure.
I'm not sure it's the correct line because taking him off mana would have been pretty good. But with
I do like the getting Scavengers here.
yeah, with the Scoos, I felt really safe because I just like it's just so much
Now
when
he-
you
now
have to
he
deal
needs
with
his-
a single
yeah.
turn.
Two
His
points,
window
yeah.
is like now, and he drew an Ashen Rider, which he can actually exile with the Chrome Mox for the white mana to
But it's kind of
cast the
irrelevant
Ledger
if you
because-
can't
exactly
do everything this turn.
He has
right?
like a Dark Ritual in hand, but I don't think he has a way to.
Get a guy in the bin, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, I can't tell what the last card in his hand. And it might even be a Gristlebrand, the one right at the back, like a foil one. But yeah, again, no way to get it in the bin that I can tell.
You could just try and get to the point of hard casting, but that seems pretty far at this point.
Yeah, especially with like him probably acknowledging that no, they're like where you can go get a wasteland and take him off that mana.
Yeah.
What is that card in the front of his hand there? Some black foil.
So here I just like play the Mox Diamond as a way of pumping up my knight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Presenting more of a clock.
Seems good.
Ooh, Lotus Petal.
Ooh.
Something could happen. I think it is a Grizzlebrand at the front. It's a GP promo,
Yeah, I
really.
think so too. I don't think he has any way to get it in the bin. Like he
Well,
ended up ditching
yeah.
the Collective Brutality, right?
Yeah, I think so. And like those Faithless Lootings are gone forever now.
Collective Brutality would be insane here, killing that Scavenging Ooze.
Well,
Yeah, true, 'cause no creatures to
I mean,
pump it.
because
yeah.
there's actually no way that he can like sequence it so that there's a dude in the bin and the Scoos is dead. You'd have to kill if you had it, you would just straight up kill the Scoos just so it's off the board, and then you do it hope to draw a discard spell later. But it's still pretty bad with now the Knight being active and the Scoos. It's it's not looking good.
And that night
And that
keeps
night-
getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, just absolutely huge now.
I think here, if I had gone for that wasteland early in the game, I would have actually denied Frank one more turn. I think the in this board state, it's not a lethal attack, but it would have been if I'd gone for that initial wasteland play, like Lachlan remarked.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
It's a really Light of the Relic is a really interesting and skill testing card.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite creatures in Magic to play because Frank overpaying here, I think for where to.
Yeah.
I think the wear part is one on a red and the tear part is only
Yeah.
a single white.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
Just-
whatever.
it gets the
Yeah.
job done. That's
Didn't wanna-
interesting though that kind of misremembering or misimagining of what actually wear tear costs could have definitely tripped up him in terms of his game plan and strategy.
If you had an Entomb there,
Yeah, something like.
Well, yeah. So he packs it up because he can't beat the Scoos, but it was no, it wasn't too far off. He could have thought seize himself and chuck
Yeah,
something in the bin,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that leaves the Scoos active. And then of course the Knight can just
Well, he couldn't
untap
kill
and get a
himself because
Caracas.
he'd die.
Oh right, he was on 2 life. Sure.
Maybe the game plays out differently if he reads his cards. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe he. Oh well, no, because he drew the Thoughtseize that turn, but still, sure. He didn't want to turn his head sideways to give the information away because he just couldn't remember what it
I
does.
love doing that when I just have no split cards in hand. It's very
so
it's
here
very
I kind
it's a power play. I think.
Here I
Next
kind of
level.
briefly re-examine my sideboard because I know that Frank now knows that Leyline of the Void's my main point of attack, and I think I just kind of shuffle it up and decide that my configuration is probably the best thing I can represent here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Having those red lines seems good.
You could even just smoke screen it, shuffle all 15, take 15 out if you wanted
Yeah.
to really get kind of
15 at random.
Yeah.
It looks
I've always been a fan of the shuffle it in, then look at your opponent dead in the eye and just mill 15 off the top.
Yeah.
Present. So it's a strong play.
And you mill all 15 lands. And
So
then
it looks
you
like
go,
Frank's
cool.
bringing in.
Yeah, lands.
Looks like Frank's
true.
bringing in Pithing Needles,
Yeah, needling that
Mm.
Scavengers.
needling the Knight.
Now he has more information going on. he's able to adapt his game plan.
Looks like he brings in like one needle and puts an Exhume back in his deck.
Okay.
The Exhume's like, I guess it's okay against like an early Scoos, because you know you have to take the worst threat if you don't have too much mana open to you. But like as soon as you cast the Scoos and then on tap, it's, you know, you just sit behind it. So I don't know. Maybe you just felt like you wanted more reanimation spells.
Maybe more non-1 mana.
Yeah, sure, and not diluting the deck too much with these anti-hate cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very like awkward dance, configuring your combo deck to beat what hate you expect and also just perform its function.
Yeah.
Because you can definitely over sideboard in matchups like this.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to dilute it too much.
Here we see his opening hand has a Pithing Needle and a Wear Tear, a bunch of mana, and it doesn't look like very much action outside of that.
I see a Dark Ritual there, a Lotus Petal.
A land. I think that might be like a Griselbrand up the back again, but...
So I pitched that hand because it was, as far as I recall, awful in every respect. It had no threats, it had no graveyard hate, and it had no access to those Scavenging Oozes or Caracases.
Frank seemed content with his handful of anti.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have kept that as Frank. Surely you want to be a bit more aggressive with Sylvius on the back foot.
Yeah.
Though again, Sylvius' deck can be like pretty slow at times.
Well, so he doesn't get to know the information that Sylvius is mulliganing until he decides.
Yeah, true.
So I've kept 6 on the strength of Leyline, but I remember this had very awkward mana and
I can
It's
see
like a
that.
Baron
Consider
Moore and a
Baron Moore
Bayou.
Bayou,
And what's up the back there? No fast mana.
Why did
No,
Frank draw just then?
Oh, because maybe he thought the like Leyline was a play.
Yeah. I've definitely been guilty of that, assuming that whoever's putting a permanent into play is on the play.
Yeah, because now he has eight cards,
yeah.
so he drew for his turn here.
Classic
Frank did remark to me after the match how loose he played, so maybe he was trying to admit a little bit of cheating on his part to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very weird kind of.
So yeah, I actually like playing the Baron Moore here instead of like the Bayou and then cycling it, just because you need to make sure you're hitting your land drops to get that night down on turn 3.
I'm playing a 26 land deck, but at the same time, you still I can't afford to not either apply a clock or kind of progress my board state in this matchup, because even though I have a Leonerd of the Void in play, Frank is still threatening to do some very powerful things.
Yeah, like here he could just have, he's got the Wear Tear, like destroy it, Faithless Looting, Reanimate, and then that's the game.
I think this opening frightened me quite a bit because it just represents so much.
Yeah.
And his deck can just do so much in one turn.
Yeah, him having the extra card too will definitely help that plan.
I don't know about deploying all the Lotus Petals.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Maybe thinking you might have some kind of like Cabal Therapy action, not realizing
If
what
you
your
just
deck
like
really
Faithless
is.
Looting into 2 lands, like
It did make me
Yeah.
wish I was playing Pernicious Deed.
Oof,
it also definitely makes you not use this Wasteland here, right?
Yeah, I mean,
If he doesn't play all those Lotus Petals, there's a chance you like waste him.
it's a very slim chance I would waste him, but it definitely
Well,
it definitely removes him getting the value off
think
that.
about it from if he goes Badlands go and you with like on your first turn, you might consider wasting if he doesn't play both petals.
No,
if he plays both petals, it's like there's no way you're wasting him.
There's just
so much mana.
Yeah, there's like no downside for him to
It'd
not
be a
play him.
waste.
Yeah, again, unless he thinks like there might be a card like Cabal Therapy or something, but
Yeah.
obviously we
Yeah.
know that's not the case.
It's probably just unfamiliarity of my deck that would make him assume that I have any kind of hand disruption, because it all tends to be 1 mana.
Yeah.
Again, that awkward contention with Chalice of the Void.
To be fair, you have been known to cast Cabal Therapy.
So, drawn the Abrupt Decay off the Dark Confidant.
Yep.
Turn.
It's only Lotus Petals for targets. Probably not happening here.
No.
So we don't hit white mana for the Night of the Reliquary, but Liliana's,
Liliana is very awkward here.
it's like if he like responds
you have a ley line.
but if he responds by
Yeah.
destroying the ley line, it's pretty awkward. I would consider playing it and then just leaving it on 3.
So I think I did that, and then I immediately realized how bad of an idea that was,
Sure.
because I kind of just instinctively do that when I play the card.
Yeah.
Unless it's something I want to deal with immediately, but
Yeah.
it definitely flashed in my mind of, oh god, I might have just thrown the game here, because he is representing quite a lot of mana and
So Pretty interesting decision for him to not fetch the white mana there, because I assume he's going to crack it like the pedal to pay for it instead.
Yeah.
Unless he thinks it's the red side.
You might not know that there's a scrub land in the deck.
Maybe that's what happened last time.
He just got one.
Oh, did
Okay,
he?
yeah. So that's the issue. He thinks it's the red side, right? He thinks it's the
Yeah.
shadow.
So he's again paid too much mana, but
Yeah.
Well, he's
Well,
also,
he's paying he thinks it's the red
Yeah.
side of the card instead of the white
Not
side of
the
the
white
card.
side.
Yeah.
which is very bizarre.
What did he discard? So he didn't discard a creature. I don't.
he discarded Dark Ritual.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's fine.
I think
Very, very weird choice to go get to correct your fetch, see Scrubland and not get it.
Yeah.
Because you have red white card in your deck. There's, I guess he notices the wasteland on your side of the board, but he also has 2 Lotus spells in play. So I don't know. This is very weird.
Mm.
I think he was very focused on wanting to start setting up with Faithless Livings here.
Yeah, he gets to flash it back, which is
Ooh.
nice.
We're discarding Chancellor and Elishnorn.
Yeah, and he gets to needle the
Name's Leona.
Liliana here to protect against an edict.
This line looking very, very not good right now.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
He knows you have an abrupt decay for the needle if it becomes relevant, though.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I just wait. Maybe wait until a turn where it's relevant to play that, but I don't know. I guess you end up discarding cards immediately instead of.
Yeah. Maybe
Maybe you just discard the needle or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
from the perspective of Slyvius, he might end up just pitching that abrupt decay because it has no target, right? But now he's definitely not going to.
Yeah,
So the draw here was Maze of Ith with my natural draw.
nice.
Yeah.
Obviously revealing the Green Suns. And Maze of Ith, not the best in this matchup, but still quite good.
Yeah, it still defends against an Iona perfectly well. Defends against a Grizzlebrand in terms of you only get to draw a sequence of cards once because you're not getting
Okay.
any further life from it.
So that foil card was an Entomb, which is
Yeah.
a little less relevant. It does let him get a diversity of threats in the graveyard,
Yeah.
which again can be relevant through
And
scoos.
looking at my mana here, if I go for the Scoos, I only have 1 activation as it currently stands.
Yeah, and that sometimes isn't enough.
No.
And you really kind of want to eat that Faithless Loading too.
Yeah.
Well, with the Chalice on one, right?
Well, this turn I've opted not to get the Scoos off the Green Suns because I just figured that the Maze of Ith here would be enough for some reason. I think that's definitely wrong in retrospect, but
Ooh.
Missing
I think
Chalice
I think
trigger?
the
You just Oops.
yeah, I definitely missed the trigger.
That's fine.
I think it was because I hadn't seen the Gristlebrand that I was very focused on deploying the maze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Elishnorn and Chancellor don't do much
Yeah.
with the Maze of Ith in play. But now the Gristlebrand's kind of changed the whole dimension and probably made that play look pretty foolish.
Tanking on your bulb trigger, nice work. I assume it's like a ley line, right? Okay,
That's correct.
Oh, you've just picked up 2 cards. I see.
Yeah, so I picked up 2 cards and then we decided that because it was 2, we'd just be reveal the top one and then we draw for turn.
Yeah.
Obviously, this isn't competitive REL, but
Yeah.
Crux pretty good, except
Lets you-
against that Chancellor.
Yeah, I mean, it lets you deploy the knight if you're feeling like brave,
Yeah, true.
which seems reasonable as a way to just
I
put more
think that's what
pressure
I end
on.
up doing here. But it also just makes it extremely awkward for Frank because he doesn't have. He's used his needle now, and it makes the dimension of I can use my lands to attack all of his threats.
Yeah.
Well, not attack, but I mean deal with them.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, those Lotus Petals just kind of sitting in play and rotting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
They're
could have.
not-
Yeah, they
not
could have
doing
been
anything,
fodder to discard to Liliana.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. They're just doing so little.
So here I decide to wasteland his red source to get the Lotus Petals off the table.
Yeah.
And also to power up the knight, but mainly because I was thinking that the wear tears get worse the less Lotus Petals he has in play,
Yeah.
and he probably wants to flash back the Faithless Linen next turn.
I mean, you've got that covered with the Chalice, right?
So the Bayou was a draw for turn, which is good, and I also drew a Grove of the Burn Willows, which means that a potential scavenging use is a lot more powerful now. It
Yeah.
means I can really just clean out that graveyard if I decide to go for it.
Yeah, this seems like you're in a very dominant position here.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
Frankly, you just need to end the game as soon as possible. So I think just getting in there with Knight and trying trying to do as much damage as possible. Because Knight's like a 5/5 at the moment, so you have him on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
Pretty unfortunate for Frank in like not drawing any reanimation spells.
Yeah, like an Exhume or Animate Dead would be alright at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not Animate Dead as much, since you still have Abrupt Decay in your hand.
So, I can't remember.
Well, I think it's pretty moot, right?
Yeah.
It's like, even getting an Elishnorn doesn't actually do anything, because like, Sylvius has Abrupt Decay for Needle, and then you just
true.
Like,
so this
it's
turn,
like
It kills a Bob and that's it.
Yeah.
Getting the Scavenging Ooze now means like any targeted reanimate spells are irrelevant.
this turn there's definitely contention in my mind between, do I want to hold up the Abrupt Decay for potentially like Animate Dead, or do I just want to get the Scoos and kind of beat?
Yeah. So
Again,
this is where this would have been relevant, right? Like, what's the CMC on the split card if he's casting one half of it to destroy a chalice?
It's
It is.
Is it 3?
No.
No, it's
If you fuse it,
Well,
but you
if
need a
you
relevant
fuse
target.
it, it's 3.
yeah.
The Shadow side is 2. The Demystified side is 1.
Yeah, yeah. So if we were playing the game correctly there, that wouldn't have worked. But
So Frank offers up the hand there, but in that last turn, I was kind of running the mental odds, and I figured that if he has this like the main configuration of his deck, he probably has 4 outs to drawing Animate Dead, and I just the number in my head was 12 or 8 for something that the Scoos could beat. So I just figured I'd just play the Scoos there, but. Yeah, definitely my unfamiliarity with Wear Terror and the rules change regarding the CMC definitely got me there, because there's no way that Wear Terror should result.
And I'm sure he like would have played it off confidently. Clearly, like misunderstanding is just not reading the card.
Yeah,
So
You just tap 2 mana and hope your opponent doesn't notice, right?
Exactly.
Frank is. I would not describe Frank as a type player, and he himself
would be the
describes
first to say it.
himself as a bit of a loosey goosey in terms of he's received many different penalties at competitive rules enforcement level.
It's interesting. I decided to board at a Wasteland. It looks like.
no bully.
I think like Frank just like he has a bunch of basics he can fetch if he cares about Wasteland. So
Yeah.
And he just like can do it with almost no downside a lot of the time.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on cleaning the floor with Frank there.
I wouldn't exactly say clean the floor. I definitely.
No, you definitely trounced him well and thoroughly.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.